Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bring guys some more Really Sins Grand Cross, and as I said in my last video, I'm going to be doing a full review and analytical breakdown of the 4 units that will be coming in the Slime Collab event. Now, this is not to tell you should you summon or skip these units. That'll be the next video that I'll probably be making when we do get the full banner information and all the event details and all that other good stuff, probably sometime later today. But this is more or less just to show you what these units can do, what their skill sets are, their base stats, etc, etc. So let's go ahead and get started with the SR Slime Rem Aru. Passive heals HP of all allies equal to 5% of diminished HP at the start of every turn. So that's very cool. And it also doesn't have that restriction where you actually have to take damage for that passive to go off, kind of like Red Elizabeth does with her 10% on her healing. Now, on his first skill, Water Blade, at rank 3, cancels buffs and stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack. So they pick up the cancel stance on the rank 3, otherwise it's just going to be removing buffs. Skill 2, Full Potion, heals HP of one ally equal to 300% of attack, heals HP of one ally equal to 300% of attack, and grants debuff immunity for 2 turns on the rank 2. And then on the rank 3, picks up the AoE variant of that rank 2. So it's going to be the same as rank 2, except it's going to be now full AoE. And then on that Black Lightning, the ultimate inflicts damage equal to 630% all the way up to 945% on one enemy and depletes 3 ultimate move gauge orbs. We also have a base combat class of 2674, 320 attack, 200 defense, and 3720 HP. Of course, that is his base SR stats. So there you go. Association, obviously, with Meliodas gives you that attack plus 280. Elizabeth, resistance 24.6. And I don't think any other stats are really worth noting here. Yeah, nothing else is really worth noting on that unit. But pretty, it's a pretty decent SR unit, pretty decent. All right, let's go ahead and start going into the SSRs now. There are 3 of them, Milim, Maru, and then of course Rem Aru SSR. Alright, so Ogre, Maru, red unit. And by the way, all these units are listed for the race as unknown, kind of like Merlin and Gother. Alright, Maru is an interesting one. I feel like if they made a game mode that had like several waves, like 4, 5, 6, 7, hell even 10 waves, you know, just a very long stage, something that you're going to go in and take maybe 10-15 minutes to clear, I think Maru would be an amazing unit for that particular stage, because if you look at his passive, increases the hero's damage by 3% per skill used, and there is no cap on that. It is just going to stack and stack and stack for as long as you're able to utilize him. The problem is, a lot of the modes in this game, you pretty much get through them pretty quickly, especially when you're adding in other units that you're attacking with as well. So you don't get to make full use of his passive, which is unfortunate. I feel like if we had like an endless wave mode or something, just how far can you get, or something like that, or you know, just more waves in a certain type of content, he would flourish. He would be absolutely amazing for that. So outside of that, it's a little unfortunate we can't see the full potential of Maru because of just the game modes that we have available at the moment. Alright, so he inflicts weak point damage equal to 275% of attack on one enemy. As you guys know, with weak point, if you have a debuff, they do 3 times the damage. So very, very nice damage output there. By the way, his base attack is 580, which is really good. 3823 combat class is kind of a little bit above average, not too bad there. 6200 HP and a little bit low on the defense. No other stats to note here, to be honest. Yeah, there's no other stats really worth mentioning. Skill 2, Dragon Cut, decreases defense related stats of all enemies by 40% for 3 turns. That's on rank 3. He picks up that additional turn on rank 3 as well, opposed to his rank 1 and 2, which are only 2 turns. So again, his damage potential is super high, but I don't know if we'll ever see it because, well, getting that to go off for too long is probably not going to happen much unless we get harder to beat content that where you can last longer and longer and longer. I would hope we get that, because then if you do get Maru, you can really utilize him to his utmost potential. All right, Now, his ultimate goes up to 840%, 56% on the multiplier, inflicts damage equal to 560% at base on one enemy, decreases skill ranks, and depletes ultimate move gauge by the number of skill rank decreases. Kind of similar to Gother, for example, but Gother's, of course, is AoE, but just as a good, comparison. He links with the Rem Aru, the SSR, which we're going to be talking about soon, attack 280, as well as the slime variant. Bond, regen plus 12%. So there you guys go. That is Maru. Now let's talk about Milim. This might be the best of all four, in my personal opinion, after reading over these skills several times and thinking about some of the usages I could have for these units and how much potential I can actually pull out of this unit, which unfortunately, like I said, with Maru, that's just unfortunate that we may never see the true potential of that. But in this, we can. So Milim inflicts spike damage equal to 400% of attack on one enemy. Now, spike is 2 times crit damage, which is crazy because we'll see her base stats and talk about that in a moment, but it's nuts, and you'll see why. Increases crit damage by 8% per skill used by the hero, limit 10 times. So obviously you're going to be getting an additional 80% out of that, plus the double from her spike. Now, Quick Wind, her second skill, on rank 3, inflicts damage equal to 200% of attack on all enemies, disables ultimate move. Basically just, it just forces you to not be able to be allowed to use your ultimate move, even if you have your orbs full, for 2 turns. That, of course, goes up from the 1 turn that you get on rank 1 and 2, and the rank 1 and 2 is also single target. So rank 3 is definitely something you want to go for because it goes hand in hand with her ultimate, Dragon Buster, which is just an amazing name, and inflicts detonate damage equal to up to 525% if you max out. Otherwise, it'll be at 350 on base on all enemies. Now, 525 on all enemies, you're probably thinking, okay, that's a little bit less than like a DN. That's a little bit less than like, maybe a Hauser. That's a little bit less than maybe, Blue King. But the detonate is where a lot of this damage is going to be coming into play. Detonate 15% additional damage per orb in the target's ultimate move gauge. So if you use your skill 2 and lock their orbs at 5 to where they can't use their ult, so they can't get rid of their ult, so they can't lower their orbs, they're going to be locked in at 5. That's going to be 5 times 15% additional damage on top of her already 525 that you can get if you maxed her out. So pretty crazy. Another crazy thing, she has a base attack stat of 600 and her base crit chance is 80%. 80%. Matter of fact, I do believe this will be the highest crit chance in global when this slime collab does take place. I believe that is the highest. I think I could be wrong, but I think that is the highest crit chance at base in the game when they do drop these units later, sometime tomorrow, after the maintenance. Now you're probably thinking, but that crit damage is only 120. That's kind of low. Well, again, take into account the passive. That'll add up to 80%. That's 200%, and then it doubles on the spike. So, yeah, she's got some crazy damage potential. This is definitely by far my favorite unit of the 4. And then we got Rem Aru, the SSR variant, Roller of Monsters, passive, friend of Storm Dragon, another cool name. I just love dragons. I'm a sucker for dragons. What can I do? What can I do? I'm only human. Increases defense-related stats by 8% if the hero takes damage. So obviously, if they take damage, you're going to be able to stack that 8% 5 times, making for a pretty tanky unit, honestly. Because the defense is actually only 280, which is kind of misleading because they kind of look, oh, that's a pretty low defense, but with the passive, that jumps up pretty high. If you're on like a Gil Thunder in the back too on that team, whew, you can really make this unit tanky. Resistance is 20%. Again, it's a little bit misleading because again, you're gonna be able to jack that number up. You're gonna be able to jack that crit resistance up. You're gonna be able to jack that crit defense up. So they become a pretty tanky unit. Not to mention on their skill 2, which we'll get to in a sec, inflicts rupture damage equal to 450% of attack on one enemy. Rupture, of course, 2 times damage against buffed enemies, and there's a lot of units in the game right now that buff, so it's not too bad. Association, you get attack plus 280, and a special association, meaning that Rem Aru actually has a combined attack, unlike the other ones. So Cancel buffs and stances on one enemy, inflicts damage equal to 560% of attack, and then stuns for 1 turn, which can go all the way up to 840. If you don't, obviously use Meliodas as a link, then it's going to go down to 735. So there definitely is a little bit of an increase there between 49% multiplier and 56. Links to Elizabeth for the resistance, links to Gulther for the pierce, and of course just the attack with Meliodas. So there you guys go on that. Now the second skill, which again helps further make this unit tanky, Obstruction, assumes a stance which taunts enemies and grants debuff immunity for 2 turns, heals 50% of diminished HP at the start of the next turn. Now this is going to be your first chance to kind of get used to a unit that'll be coming way much further down the road. I don't want to say way down the road because they could change up the release schedule, but Esterosa, Green Esterosa. This will be an opportunity for a lot of players to kind of see a little bit of how the taunt debuff immunity works as a stance. Obviously, you're not going to get the counters and stuff like that Esterosa has, but this is pretty dang close outside of the counters to what Esterosa is going to kind of be doing with his stance card. So this will be kind of a good way for a lot of you out there in PvP especially to kind of get used to playing against that, do some friendlies, play against this, kind of figure out what works and what doesn't, and kind of just get a good idea of how it's going to happen later down the road when Esterosa enters the game and becomes meta for however long. So it'll be pretty interesting to see. But again, this stuff makes him very, very tanky. And that's pretty much it. Base attack stat 560, 3519, very low combat class. I'm afraid if you guys are CC buffs and you want to maximize your CC in your teams, unfortunately 3519 is kind of low for this unit. No other stat really stands out, is something worth noting. So there you guys go. There you guys and gals go. That is the 4 units that'll be coming. Obviously, you can make this unit super tanky if you're trying to build like a tank team. This would be a solid unit to throw in there with like Green Gale Thunder in the back. If you're looking for just overall best unit in the 4, I personally, keyword personally, prefer Milim. I feel like she's definitely the best. She has, pound for pound, the best skill set, the most usability, the most, modes I feel that she would be good in using her for. So just overall, she's just the best in my opinion. And second best, I would have to give it to Maru. Not only does he look awesome, he has an amazing passive that I just wish that we could take full usage of. Rip. But he also has really high damage potential as well. He's got a really good skill set and a very decent CC number of 3,800, and then 3,686, around 3,700. That's a little bit around average or maybe a bit below for Milim, but at least her skill set makes up for it. So that's it. That is my 4 units, full review, analytical data, all that good stuff that you guys love to see here. That's the breakdown. Let me know what you think about these 4 units in the description below. Which unit is your favorite? Which one are you going to go for if you do choose to summon for the units? Of course, I will have my summon or skip video talking about the banner in great detail. And hopefully with this video, you'll have a better understanding of what the units can do. And then you can also decide for yourself if it's worth going into the banner or not. So it's kind of like a part 1 and part 2 banner, if you will, or part 1 and part 2 video, if you will. So that's it for me. Have an awesome day, and a great rest of your day, and a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever the hell you are in the big old world. As always, don't forget to subscribe, check notifications, join us in the Discord in the description below. If you guys want to play the game in beautiful full screen, go ahead and use my free affiliate link for Blue Sacks in the description below. It really helps the channel out a ton. Like the video if you did. I'll try to read as many comments as I can. And again, subscribe, check notifications, and I'm out of here. Peace.